qui prouve que la question de
which proves that the question of financial inclusion is not just a question of poverty, but that one also has to look at the model, the economic model or the enterprise model of banks, which requires some thought. Now, to conclude, is there an opportunity or a probability that the efforts undertaken at present will lead to something which is binding? Well, I take it that at present the state of discussion is such that the majority in Econ want to have a Europe-wide form of regulation. And this, in a sense, is an effect of the financial crisis. In Econ, there's a strong interest in integrating financial markets, integrating the European financial markets. The idea is to promote this because it's felt that part of the problem or part of the solution could come from this if there were to be a stronger form of European integration. And this entails, certainly not as a matter of priority, but certainly it's important for citizens. This entails that an internal market solution or that there should be development towards an internal banking market. Of course, there are different points of view among the Social Democrats and the Greens, and also in the EPP. There are certain views. My own party, Die Linke, is a bit ambivalent in favor of this, but it's not the view of the entire parliamentary grouping that I belong to. And a major part of the Liberals, ALDE, not all of them, but many of the Liberals are in favor of the internal market being more strongly integrated on this in this respect. But there are certain groups, such as ECR, they mainly are made up of British Tories, but also they have members from Eastern European countries. And a Czech colleague is the shadow rapporteur with whom I've had to negotiate a lot. Well, this group would prefer to leave this matter to subsidiarity and like to have country-based solutions. They wouldn't want a Europe-wide solution. And then the FD, which belongs to the right, is very much against a European solution here. But here, I really think that if we want to speak of an internal market and free movement for citizens in the EU, they should be able to open bank accounts. If you look at the banking market, the banking sector, a certain freedom of movement and flexibility has to exist. And if you look at this from this point of view, it's strange that British officials who've been living here for a long time and haven't lived in the UK for a long time just can't open a bank account in the UK because they don't have an account in the UK. It's rather crazy. We've been speaking about a single market which is more than 20 years old, and you still can't open a bank account. So it's a different perspective from the matter which we're looking at today, but it is part of our reality. And from this point of view, the position of the European Parliament of Econ is actually relatively clear. The broad majority is in favor of a binding solution being found. Could I perhaps add one last point on the question of fees or charges? Originally, when I submitted my proposal to Econ, I said and insisted that we should have accounts which are free of charge. Basically, I think you could argue that money is a public good, and like cash, it should be accessible free of charge. But with more and more money actually going through bank accounts and moving from cash transactions to bank accounts, there should be the possibility of transactions being free of charge, and the costs that arise should be earned through other forms of accounts. I think this is something that we ought to be able to discuss. I only see the fact that we're not going to achieve this in the immediate future So it's for pragmatic reasons that I've moved away from this position. There's the question of facilities, overdraft facilities. This is something which features in my report. This is something that you referred to. And I wouldn't want our proposal to founder just on the question of bank accounts being free of charge, but surely, as other business models are possible, we need to wait until a directive comes in order to deal with this.